As the year progresses, students and teachers go through a period of successes and failures to perfect their project for Expo Fest.
I think we're a little shaky on the science part. Yeah. We don't know what our solution is.
Some ideas for what a solution could be, but we don't know if it'll work.
I just want to see if it freezes up. All right, so go ahead. Same thing, kind of perfect. It's good.
It doesn't seem to bounce.
You would say, teachers, why would you want your kids to fail? Isn't that what you're trying to prevent? We want our students to see how real science inquiry takes place in the world, that you're not always going to do a project and have the results that you intend to see. There's going to have to be this process where you're going to have to go back to the previous steps and modify your approach.
Excellent.
It bounces a little.
Every project has to have a hiccup. If they never had a hiccup, they were not stretching themselves, they were not doing what they really wanted to do, they just did something simple.
That was not me.
It's all right, some of it spills.
You work on it for 9 months and you say everything went smoothly, nothing failed, you were probably just making pizza.
We as scientists devote years of working on a specific project, and there is always something new that comes up, something interesting or something that doesn't work. And I would recommend to devoting more time than you initially think, because experiments never work in a first run. So spend probably twice as long. If you consider that your experiment is going to take 2 weeks, plan for 4. That's the rule of thumb.
I think it's a bit of mistrust because we're pushing them into a direction that they've never gone in. So of course they're going to, at some point it's going to be panic, they're going to get frustrated, they're going to get their parents involved. I think, you know, the parents, the students, everyone involved needs to know that we're in there with them. We're not going to let them just hit this wall and say, oh well, you're on your own. We're here to support that process, and just for teachers to be ahead of it. We, the educators, have to lead the students. That means we have to have certain critical tasks done at specific times, and those are drop-dead deadlines. They have to be done. But you know what? That's authentic, because that's what business is like.
For the new teachers, I think the hardest part for them is actually to step back. Because as a teacher, you want to be there, like help the student. And sometimes we talk to them and say, you need to let them struggle. The struggle here is essential for a good project. If there's no struggle behind it, you can see the difference.
As part of their ongoing curriculum, teachers often tailor experiments and class assignments so students can relate everyday work to their Expo Fest project.
We had a few engineers that have been actually kind of asking them questions, so they've been really doing a lot of thinking about how to design their prototype. And that's actually been a sticking point right now, is really figuring out how do we make something that's different, that's not already out there. So today's lab was trying to broaden their horizons of different substances we could use to possibly filter some things out.
We spend a lot of time outside of class researching things and coming up with tutorials and projects for the kids to kind of get them more interested in it too, and it seems to be working.
So it does take a little bit of preparation. It's a different type of preparation than getting ready for a normal class. Also to be that guide, so I just want to have a few ideas in the back pocket to always be able to kind of respond to them, to kind of push them to the next level. Like you said silk, so that could be, that's actually a more natural substance as opposed to like a polyester or something like that.
I've seen a bunch of times in this phase is, you know, what we would refer to as a pivot in modern biz speak, right? They realize that this thing they want to do doesn't work. They did some rigorous testing and they hit a wall, and what we very often find at that point is that the kids have enough ownership on the project that they'll pivot. They'll sort of say, well, what if we did X? Or what if we looked at this problem from a different angle? Some of the best projects, some of the projects that really won over the last several years, were pivots that came out of that digging deep. And so I love that phase of the project, because that's where you really feel like that we're now crossed into, this is what real folks do in the real world, scientists, entrepreneurs, trying to solve these problems.